Okay, so as the title of the video suggests, we're going to do how to fish and therefore never need to starve in DayZ. As you can see, I've spawned in Livonia. Just got my bandage, my glow stick, maybe some Zeds for company. We're on a vanilla-based server. Some of the clothing is modded, you won't see on official servers. But apart from that, the loot, economy, food, etc. is the same as it would be on official. What I hear from a lot of people who are just starting off in this game, whether they've got an hour, 10 hours, maybe even 50 hours, is, why can't I find food? Why am I always starving? So in my humble opinion, you will learn how to fish ASAP in this game. But I wanted to start off as a complete fresh spawn, rather than start a video and I've already got all the equipment needed to fish. I thought, I'll tell you what, let's challenge myself. I've done it a number of times, of course. Let's just spawn in with nothing. It happens to be in the dark, which could happen to you in real life, particularly if you play in official servers. So let's just deal with these zombies around this spawn, which if you're familiar to Colin Brody, you'll know. It's not a million miles from Colin Brody and Krisnick military. Just want to search a couple of these rooms. Sometimes you can get lucky and find loot if you spawn near the train track. Shots in the distance, way off. And you're going to need I'm going to start talking about what you need to fish anyway. When you cook fish, especially when you bake it rather than boil it, don't boil it in a cooking pot. You'll get the most calorific quality out of it and content out of it if you bake it on a fire, on a stove, or roast it on a sharp stick in the middle of the woods. It will fill you up quicker and for longer than any other food type in the game. Okay? You need items of equipment. Now, if you're playing Chernarus and you spawn on the coast, let's say you're down by Chernogorsk itself, you might get lucky and find a fishing boat which has a fishing rod on it. You might also find real fishing hooks on those fishing boats, and then you're pretty much nearly there. Let's assume we're not going to get fishing rods. I mean, if we do and we get lucky, great. But let's assume we can't. All you will need then to fish is a long stick, which you can get from any bush that will allow you to take a long stick. You need rope. You can find rope on construction zombies like the ones we just fought, or you can find it in sheds and other construction buildings, garages, that type of thing. You will need hooks then. If you haven't found a genuine fishing hook, you'll need to make one. So you need bones. Where am I going to get bones? If you cut up a chicken, you get 2 hooks. If you find a dead player and you cut them up, or you do what you got to do and maybe create a dead player yourself, you'll get a stack of somewhere between 10 and 20 bones. You then need a knife or a bladed item of some kind to turn those bones into improvised fishing hooks. Okay, and if we get the chance to do that, and I'm successful, and I'm backing myself to be able to do it, then I'll show you exactly what's done. You'll also, if you want the fishing to be quick, you'll want to bait the hooks with worms, and you only need a blade, a knife, stone knife, bone knife, steak knife, kitchen knife, hunting knife, combat knife, you get the drill. You can't do it with an axe. I believe you can't do it with a hatchet, so it needs to be a small blade. You can do it with a sickle. And then you can actually just look at the ground with the knife in your hand, and it will let you dig up worms, which you can then put on your improvised hooks. You'll need to combine your rope, when you've got rope, to your long stick to make your improvised fishing rod. Then you combine the baited hook with the fishing rod, stand close enough to the water with it all in your hand, and it'll give you the prompt to start fishing. A bag is handy so that we can carry everything while we're demonstrating what we're doing. Obviously, you're going to need knives to cut up the fish once you cook them. If you're not wearing gloves, after you've cut up an animal or after you've cut up your fish, you have to remember to wash your hands before eating or drinking anything, or you will be sick. Violently sick, which is hard to treat. And if you can't find rope, like genuine rope, you can make rope yourself by combining 2 stacks of 6 rags. So you will obviously need a bladed item, like this axe we've just picked up, to cut up clothing. It doesn't matter if the clothing is badly damaged or pristine or anywhere in between. As long as you've got 6 rags of any quality, combine them with another 6 rags in your hand, then you will have rope, which you can use to go fishing. That honey is going to obviously help us. Well, there's rope. There we go. So we've got one component towards being able to fish. And as it's got a little bit lighter and we've dropped into the red hunger, we're going to neck a load of this honey. So our next target is to find either a dead player to cut up or a chicken, ideally, that we can kill and cut up. Then we've got bones, but we would still need a knife to dig up the worms we need, because you can fish without baited hooks, without worms, but it will take a lot longer, like a frustratingly long period of time. We'll put the raincoat on for now, even though it's a horrific colour. Right, this damaged t-shirt I'm going to take. Oh no, I don't need to do that. Well, I'm going to do that. I'll show you why now. We'll take this food. Just very quickly, even though this is damaged, this t-shirt, I'm going to cut it up into rags, using my splitting hook. 2 rags in my hand, craft improvised hand wraps. Now when I cut up my chicken to look for my bones, or when I catch my fish and I eventually cut it up ready for cooking, I won't have to worry about getting bloody hands, because I've got these rags on. The biggest problem since 1.19 update is finding knives, because it's not just finding them, you find them badly damaged. You're very lucky if you find them worn or pristine. So obviously when you fish, blowtorch is no good to us. When you fish, not only are you hacking down a tree to get a long stick for the fishing rod, you're digging up worms with your knife. You're making bones into hooks with your knife. You're then cutting up the fish. If you want to ideally catch 2 fish, that will give you 4 fish fillets, and it will get you from yellow hunger to pretty much full white apple, and you will not need food for quite a while. Okay, and then when you're hungry again, as long as you've got rope and bones, you just fish again. We've got lucky off the rip. We found the honey, we found the pajka. It's not going to give us any hydration, the honey. The pajka will give us a little bit. There is a well up in Cole and Brody where I'm facing now, so I'm not too worried about being yellow water. But yeah, the amount of times you will need to use a knife means even if you found a pristine knife and it was the only blade you had, it would probably be down to badly damaged or nearly ruined by the time you finished fishing. I'll show you why I'm going to take that broom when we get the equipment we need to go fishing. Don't forget, if you don't find a flare, you don't find matches, you don't find a lighter, you're going to need to make a fire to cook your fish and eat it. So you may need to get 2 pieces of bark from a tree, one for kindling, or a minimum of 1 piece of bark to combine with a short stick, and make a hand drill kit which you will use then to light your fire. Now there are a few buildings up here we can search. I'm not going to go for the police zombies. In a normal run we would be killing the police zombies for stab vests and looking for ammo, etc. But I'm only now going purely in a state of survival, not worried about shooting people or defending myself against other people. If we get killed, we get killed. We are just in a pure survival mode, looking for tools, i.e. blades, and chickens, or dead players. I'm going to take, the only reason I'm going to take that pipe is that we can use it instead of the axe to hit zombies, etc. So that we don't wear down the splitting axe before we've done what we might need to do with it. The shovel is no good. All those police zombies there are just going to be a hindrance while we're looking for food. You want to imagine that you haven't got as lucky as me. You haven't found the honey, the pajka, and you're now in red hunger, so you're sort of running around desperately trying to get the equipment that's needed to fish. Which is why I'm keeping one ear out for a chicken. Haven't heard one yet. Definitely don't need that. When we get zombies though, we'll deal with them. Lead pipe's pretty nice. And while it's there, we'll take it. We're not going out looking for this type of loot because of the nature of this video. Key goal is to not starve, so you could chop up those for rags if you didn't find rope. Going towards your 12 rags that you would need to make your own rope. There's more potential rags over there. That raincoat. I was hoping I might find a combat knife in here. Find a gun, we'll take it, why not? Don't know why the bandage has gone in my hand. Must have fat fingered that. And I'm going to now just rely on Cole and Brody, the next town over the bridge. I'm going to rely on Cole and Brody digging me out and providing me with the tools I need to fish for my supper. Okay? Just picking all this up out of habit. If you're doing this here, always check this bench, because this is spawns hunting equipment, so you might get lucky and find a hunting knife. You might even get more lucky and find some food like that, but there you go. There's a cow in the distance. I mean, if we had a weapon that would be able to shoot the cow, A, we wouldn't need to fish, but if you were doing it for the purposes of fishing, you'd get a big stack of bones from a cow. But you're a fresh spawn. You haven't got a rifle. You're not going to be able to shoot a cow. So let's instead enter Cole and Brody and thoroughly search for what we need to fish. And if we find it, we'll fish down there by the river. Nice and isolated spot. I'll show you the place that I like to fish in Cole and Brody. If this goes well. If it doesn't, then nobody will see this video, and I'll probably be starting another one. Having made myself look a bit of a fool. But, you know, when I read, oh, I can't find any food, I'm starving to death, just seen now that we found a pajka, a jar of honey, and a tin of lunch meat already. We're in white food. You know? There's something in the road up there. I'm hoping it's part of a cut-up player, and they've left the bones behind. That would be really nice. If we see someone, for the purposes of the video, I'm going to be friendly. I'm not going to take the pitchfork today, but it is a bit of a beast. Particularly versus players. I find it quite awkward against Zeds, but against players, it can really do a job, really do a number, even on really, really, really geared players. There's another gun there, an IG. You've got bullets for that as well. I'm going to carry on doing what I would normally do, because it's just absolute habit. Look, more food. But there are going to be times, where you haven't got this amount of food, you haven't been getting this lucky, and people will want to know how to fish. Some people will enjoy fishing, whether they've got food or not. They might just want to go fishing anyway, you know? Quite relaxing. They might want a change of pace in the game. Oh, is that a dead chicken in the road? Is this scripted? Have the zombies killed a chicken for me? That would be really kind of them if they have. Not often the zombies do something nice like that. I haven't actually got a single-handed blade to be able to stealth kill these zombies, so to clear a path to that well, just so we can have a sip before fishing and investigate if that is indeed a chicken. Oof. Pepper. You know, we're making a mockery at the minute, aren't we, of the people who say, I can never find any food, why am I always starving to death? You're not really looking that hard then, are you, pal? Because, you know, I haven't gone out of my way here. I've just followed the spawn into the first town, and we are set. Even got a chambered weapon, for God's sake. Put the pipe away, I don't want to look unduly threatening. Oh, glow stick on the floor there. I'm sure I just heard potential aggro on somebody else. Bit of powdered milk. That'll dehydrate us even more, but we're going to hit the well soon. It'll fill us nicely though. You could always skip ahead if you purely on this video just because you want to see the pure mechanics of fishing. Skip ahead. Oh, there we go. Kukri. Damaged, but brilliant. It's actually probably just about enough to get everything done to fish, but I would like to find one more bladed item, like a steak knife, kitchen knife, sickle. That would be ideal. A hatchet, because we could use the hatchet for cutting certain things up and just use the kukri for digging up the worms, the things that need a smaller pointed bladed item. But yeah, by all means, I'll probably in the description put in when I actually start fishing. And if you've just searched up this video because you've been struggling to fish or you'd just like to learn how to do it, then by all means, fast forward to the point where I'm just fishing. But oh, here we go. Here's another beautiful way of picking up knives. Small stones. You need 2 small stones combined to make a stone knife. And if you can't find 2 small stones, which you should be able to do, I'm going to carry on looking down the path that we just picked this one up from in a bit once I've looted. But otherwise you need to find a boulder, a big boulder, and then you can combine the small one with the bigger boulder, and it will again give you a prompt to craft a stone knife. But I'm hoping we get lucky and find another small stone in a second. And you'll find small stones on railway tracks or paths. Muddy paths like the one we just saw. Oh, look at that, box of 357. Whew, give me a revolver now. We can start going inland. We could put anyone down with 2 or 3 shots from a revolver, plate carrier or not. But really, I've heard people say it's difficult to find small stones. I almost guarantee you will find one down by that well when we go down there in a second. And then with that and the kukri, we're away. Plenty of blades to do what we got to do. Box of 22 if we had a little zombie killer. I'm going to put that on because I don't like walking around with bright orange raincoats on, to be honest with you. Yeah, it would have been easy for me to find all the gear and then just start the video. Oh, there we go, sickle. We're in business. We've got everything we need to go fishing, apart from the hooks, or the bones to make the hooks. So I'm really hoping that was a dead chicken in the road, because we haven't heard one yet. But yeah, as I was saying, if I just started the video off with me on the riverbank with everything needed, people would quite rightly probably think, well, yeah, that's okay for you. You know what you're doing. Can you also show us how you got all that gear together? Now we've got what we've got. I don't need the axe anymore. And I'm taking the sledgy because it will put the zombies down much quicker that are congregating around this well. Yeah, that probably was the only chicken in the in the village then, is it? The only chicken in the village. Oh, is it a chicken? No, it's a satchel. Oh dear. We spoke too soon. Unbelievable, no chickens. Put these down. There's Billy Bear, the server, the cult of Colin Brody. Oh shit. Grandma got one in. Come on then, you clown. Ooh, lighter on the floor. And just as we hit red hydration, we find ourselves by the well. So we sip, 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 sip away. We're 20 minutes into our life. We've been lucky with food. We're now going to sort our hydration problem out. I'm sure I just saw a stack of bones in that church. Let's go and investigate. If not, then we're going to have to go to the next town. We're going to have to go to Tarnow, which is up the road. And see if we can find a chicken there. And then, yeah, I would definitely be probably trimming this video to say, okay, we're starting on the riverbank with all the necessities for fishing. Sorry for talking a load of bull. Oh, look at that, another blade. More rounds. The hell was that? I can't believe I haven't found one chicken. Oh shit. Oh, look at that. Stash. Someone's stash. Scripted. So if we hadn't found rope, there's your rope. Because we haven't found a chicken, there's our bones. But obviously, there's Kriznik military getting gas bombed. But you could, especially if you're playing an official server, you could get lucky and find someone's stash like that. We're gonna take it, because if anyone's tuned into this video, it's probably to learn how to fish. So rather than fuck about and run up the town and take another 20 minutes to find a chicken, let's just assume we caught a chicken in this town and didn't stumble across someone's stash. It looks like someone has set up a stash there actually to help fresh spawns, because rope, bones, a little bit of food in a can. Not that we needed it, because we found our own food, you know. Let's just eat some of it to get it off our inventory. But this is what you really tuned in for, the whole process of fishing. So I'm going to put about 22.5 minutes. No, 24 minutes I'm going to put as the indicator of when we actually start. So here we are. I'm going to drop our sledge. I'm going to say we don't need it anymore. Let me just put this badly damaged kukri there, and this kukri there. Okay? First thing I'm going to do, long stick. Knife in my hand, look at the bush. There's a long stick. Put it on my back. Beautiful. Now, ideally, let's get away from people. Okay? Nice little spot down here. You could be seen from the other side of the river. People spawning up there. It is possible. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my worms that I need for bait. So knife is in my hand. I'm going to look at the ground, and there's the indicator. Dig up worms. Hold left button on the mouse. Possibly right trigger for controller, if I remember. But don't quote me on that. It's going to allow me to dig up one worm per use, per cycle. Put that in my inventory. Now I personally want to catch 2 fish. You'd think you'd only need 2 worms. You may need more, and we may see why in a second. If we don't, I'll explain why. It's not only fish you can catch in these rivers. So there's 2 worms. My kukri is still only badly damaged, so it'll allow me to dig up a 3rd worm. Perfect. Then we're going to get out of sight completely to do the rest of our fishing. If you're in Columbrody, see that's still only badly damaged, I suggest coming under here. You're under the bridge, you've got a nice clear patch to work with, but you're well hidden. You can hear people running to and from over the bridge as well, to give you a bit of a heads up. Okay, so let's put all this together at the top so you can see. We've dug up our 3 worms. Okay, let's put our knife away a sec. We've got our long stick. Put it in our hands. Here's our rope. Combine. Now it says craft improvised fishing rod. Hold left button. We start crafting our fishing rod. Obviously, if you're lucky enough to find a real one, great. Puts the fishing rod on the ground next to us. Simple fishing rod. We've got our bones. You might only have 2 bones if you've cut up a chicken, but you put them in your hand. You drag your knife over, combine, craft improvised fishing hook, or bone hook. So let's do that. This may ruin our kukri. We'll see. Yeah, I think it has. It has, so ditch that. But look, next to the fishing rod is now a pristine bone fishing hook. I'm going to do a second one though. I want 2. They do last longer now since 1.19. They used to give you, I think, 2 uses per hook. It's now maybe 6 to 8 per hook. But I'm going to do 2 anyway, out of habit. Keep the bones. Now let's assume you've just ruined your knife. You haven't got a sickle. You haven't got another knife. But I've still got a stack of bones. Maybe I cut up a dead player. Maybe I murdered a player to cut him up. Put the bones in your hand. Come out of it. See down on the bottom left? Craft bone knife, hold, and it will use 2 of these 8 bones to craft this pristine bone knife. Just put that there for a second. So now I want to take one of my hooks, take one of my worms, combine them, craft fishing bait. It's very quick. Look how quick the wheel goes round. Great. It puts it there. Fishing bait next to your other items. I'm going to do the second one ready, so I'm prepared. Okay, but I'm not going to leave it on the ground. I'm going to put it in my inventory in case we have to make a sharp exit. Put the fishing rod in my hand. Put the baited hook on the fishing rod. Turn to face the water and it will prompt you to start fishing. Hold left button. You've got to keep it held down. The wheel will go round. And if it goes round like that a second time, it means you haven't caught anything. Oh, that means I've caught something. What have I caught? Let it do the animation. Tab. There's a fish. And it's 100% fish as well. The best fish you can catch. So we got really lucky with that. Take the bone hook off, because the fish took the worm. Put the next one on. You're ready to go again. Now sometimes a couple of things can happen. You can catch old smelly Wellington boots, which are obviously no good to you. Complete waste of a use of the hook and your worm. Look at that, we caught a fit, and then that can happen. It looks like you've caught something, but when you tab, there's nothing in the vicinity and the worm has gone off your hook. So the fish has taken the bait and done a runner. So now that's why I got that spare worm. I make my bait with that 3rd worm we dug up. Obviously you would need to do that as well if you catch wellies. But what you can catch also are cooking pots, and they can be quite handy because you can use them as water containers and you can use them to cook multiple pieces of food in one go. Look at this, we're getting tons of luck with the fishing. It's normally not as quick as this, but there's another fish. This one's only 52%, but it'll do us, right? put it to the side. If you catch welly after welly, and I've caught 3 pairs of boots in a row before, then it means you might have to come back out of hiding, or if you're just fishing by the riverbank, you might have to pull your knife out again, dig up a couple more worms, make some more bait, go back to fishing. Sometimes it can take you 10, 15 minutes. But at the end of the day, you want to be in a position where you've got at least 2 fish, particularly if you're red hunger and you're a relative fresh spawn still. So just in case you don't know what to do, we're going to do this step by step. Fish in hand, any sort of knife, combine, gut and prepare, like you would a chicken or any other animal you've hunted. It won't give you any bones like a chicken, but it will give you these carp fillets. So let's just put them in our inventory. Then let's bring the other fish over, do the same, cut and prepare. And I'm going to assume as well that I haven't picked up any matches or lighter, even though I've got both, I think. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you what I would normally do now. I would take my fishing rod, knife in hand, drag the rod over, combine, it says break down. Hold left trigger, and you will break your improvised fishing rod back down, so you don't have to carry it on your back. It puts the rope back somewhere in your inventory. And now I can personally use that stick for my fuel to cook the fish on a fire. I'll also need 1 short stick to make a hand drill kit, because we're going to pretend we haven't got anything to light a fire with or any kindling. So look, have a knife in your hand, face a tree, it says gather bark. I'm going to hold down until the wheel goes around twice. That will give me 2 pieces of bark, 1 for kindling, 1 for a drill kit. Put the knife away, put the stick in your hand, the short stick, drag the bark over to it, combine, and then with the wheel, instead of fireplace, scroll down with your mouse wheel, craft hand drill kit. Hold that down. In the vicinity it will put a hand drill kit. We'll take that with us. And now I've got a broom on my back, so I don't need to get any more wood to fuel my fire. That's the zombie we killed, isn't it? Yeah. Did we kill this one? I can't remember. I mean, if we get interrupted, we get interrupted, but place the short sticks that are in your hand in there. The remaining bit of bark, drag it over to this bark symbol here. That's your kindling. Put your hand drill kit in your hand. Come out of tab, look at it, it says ignite. Ignite the fire. Drag 1 bit of fish onto the cooking place. Put the other one onto smoking. Another one onto smoking. Drop the other one into the vicinity, ready to go. And then I'm going to break down the broom that's in my hand. It says split. When you go through the animation, it will leave you with a long stick on the side, but 3 more pieces of short stick, which is plenty to add to the fuel there. Let me just have a look what's in this. Shit. Okay, this could always happen as well. You start cooking, someone starts shooting. But you get the hint. This is how we caught the fish. This is how we made a fire to cook the fish. If you die cooking your fish, there's not a lot I can do for you. That's cooked. Quickly put it in your inventory. Put the next one down, this one down, this one down. Rotation. And just hope no one pushes the building that you're in. Hope they're not massively unfriendly. There's our second piece done. But there. I hope that helps you. If it does, put it in the comments. Sorry, I'm listening to see if anyone's creeping on me. It's just habit. But we've showed you how to fish. We've shown you how to cook your fish. Once you eat these up, you'll be well on your way. You won't need food for a long time. But when you do, if you're near any body of water, a pond, a stream, river like that one, you know how to catch your own food again. So thanks for watching. Drop a like, drop a comment if you've learned something. See you in the next.